Okay, so this post is in the divorce_men subreddit. And I don't know what it is about find out season, but it definitely makes me smile. He says late 30s dating. Oof. He says this is just a rant, not looking for advice. He says ex and I have been split for almost a year now. Been doing the gym, kids, self-healing for about 9 months now, and I figured I'd check out the dating world. It's been 14 years since I was single, and I don't really have a lot of friends, hobbies that don't involve kids and family, friends with kids at this point in my life. So I checked out the dating apps. He says, talk about screaming into the void and paying for it. I met my ex-wife on match.com. Back then it was like 20 to 30 bucks for 6 months of service. Message whoever, search, and basically no extra fees. There was no Tinder like swiping, and people seemed, I don't know, realistic about finding someone. These new apps are just depressing and soul crushing. Want to see who liked you? 30 bucks a month. Want to super like someone back so that your like stands out from the thousand other likes? $10, I'm sorry, 10 bucks a super like. Want to send a message? 5 bucks. Want to send a message with a higher chance of being read? 10 bucks. Interested in these prized women who aren't the bottom of the barrel that get no attention? Pay up even more. I just find myself mindlessly scrolling and liking. It's like doom scrolling Reddit, but somehow more addictive and less satisfying. I'm getting some matches, lots of likes from women I'm not interested in, but the time, money, and emotional investment just doesn't feel worth it. Then there is the prized women. Every single one is just a copy effing paste of the last one. Travel, my dog, coffee, drinking. So many of these women even have profile pictures of their dog licking their mouth. Vomit. The number of them that have aggressive breed dogs like pit bulls seems extremely high compared to what the rest of society have for dogs. Then, for some reason, these women think being late 30s, unmarried, that now is the time to start having kids. What? Like every single one of them wants kids and a ring. You're 38 years old. Let's say we have an instant connection and get married in 2 years. That means you'll be 41 by the time you have your first kid. You will be 60 years old by the time they graduate high school. They don't even get to start playing I'm sorry, then don't even get started in playing the autism complication odds that start to increase drastically over the age of 30. I see now why so many divorced 30 to 40-year-old men end up dating 20-year-olds. At least with them, I don't have to pretend that I want some magical connection that ends with a ring, two and a half kids, and a house. And I am not at all against dating a divorced woman with kids, but so many of them also make it seem like I would be auditioning for the role of stepdad. Like, why are you putting pictures of you and your kid in your dating profile? I know you have kids. It says so right there in your bio. I have kids as well. I would never dream of putting them in my dating app profile. Hell, it would likely take 1 to 2 years of really amazing dating before I would even consider introducing you to them. Just oof, man. Maybe I'll just stick with being the best father I can be, because if I'm already this dismayed, I don't think dating apps are for me. I've been making new friends and trying to meet new people through other activities. I'll stick with that. These people are going to realize that women are overwhelmingly leaving dating apps. And the women, the prized women, are the women that they're probably attracted to. Lots of people are vying for the attention of those few people, the few women that are left. And they can be as picky as they want to be. Women are getting married later in life. Women are having babies later in life. That's what the numbers say. So being out of the dating world for that long, yes, it is a major like eye opener to see. And women are not that pressed. You see, lots of women are getting the pets. People said get a cat, get a dog, and die alone. That's what they have been saying, and women said, I bet. I bet. That's the reason why there are so many more pet stores and pet daycares and pet restaurants opening up, because women are, in fact, just getting these pets. All right, let's look at some of these comments. Kid says, choice one, single women between 30 and 45 who are looking to immediately get married and make babies before their womb dies up. Choice number 2, single women with kids who are looking for a baby daddy. Choice number 3, single women over 45 who have accepted the fact that they missed their window to have kids, or who have kids that are already grown. Get used to the fact that women in their 30s are, for the most part, completely transactional in their interactions with men. If you're not willing to put a baby in them ASAP, you're off the island. But men are transactional. Men are looking to suck up the resources of women. They are looking for a wife appliance. They are not looking for basic human interaction and to support somebody and get to know somebody and be friends. Men are simply transactional. And until y'all stop looking at women like this, talking about their womb dies, like the only thing that we are is our womb, then women are simply going to not be available. I don't know what to tell y'all. The OP says choice number 4, find a good woman with or without kids who isn't looking for a baby daddy. They do exist. Okay, we'll see. I mean, I'm not saying that most of these women are looking for a baby daddy, but that's how they see women. Seaworthiness Minnie says, as a childless 25 to 35-year-old woman, I don't want kids right now. So I try to filter for guys without kids. And with the vasectomy is even better, but no filter for that. If you're looking for 20-year-olds and if they start being serious with you, they likely will want a ring, 2.5 kids, and a house eventually, unless they are child free, and therefore won't want to date someone with a kid. It's weird that as a divorced man with kids, you're so against divorced women with kids, when the reality is your kid is a huge part of your life and time. So it's helpful to know a bit about them if you're actually going to invest 1 to 2 years of your life in dating someone. And for me, I think knowing that there's a mother of this kid around who could be either an amazing co-parent or a nightmare is also a black box that I don't know how to account for when online dating. It's just easier to filter out. Then the OP says to her, you don't have kids. You don't understand the risk you take bringing a stranger into your house and their life. Also, what made you think I'm so against divorced women with kids? I literally said I was fine with it and have no problems. I just think women who use kids in their online dating profile pictures are weird and creepy. It makes me feel like you're saying you are a package deal, which, in my opinion, is just stupid. It looks desperate. It looks like they need a man in their family. No one with kids is going to assume that dating a single mom doesn't mean the potential for a blended family, but only desperate single moms make being a part of that family a core aspect of dating. He sounds very antagonistic, and he sounds like he's going to be terribly unsuccessful in dating. Um, it sounds like he really still thinks that he has high potential when he is divorced with kids and newly divorced at that. He sounds like he's going to have to wait quite a while. Landy says, turning 44, I feel that I will go to Bulgaria instead of looking in the UK. I'm at the point where being alone is better than dating apps. Probably a good idea, Landy. Just be alone. Interestingly, Lucky says, thanks, OP, for an honest assessment of the current dating landscape. What an incentive to do everything you can to save an existing marriage. And then the OP says, save an existing marriage. It takes 2 people to do that, and I'd rather be single than in a miserable marriage. Single and lonely is still 100 times better than married and miserable. Designer Upbeat says they're putting their kids in their photos because they're looking for a partner in life. It's a way of communicating the fact that they are not just looking for a one-night stand. I don't understand why that seems weird to you. And he says, I understand that. It's still weird and creepy, in my opinion. I have my kids 50% of the time. No, I wouldn't. I'm old enough and experienced enough to know that most relationships fail. I'm not going to introduce my kids to someone who they might really like only to have them leave one day. 4 to 5 months is nothing in terms of a lifetime relationship. Even at that 4 to 5 months, it's still like a honeymoon phase. All right, so y'all see what kind of man this OP is. And I highly doubt this is the type of person that is going to be successful in dating currently, because he really espouses these typical talking points of men. And he's going to see that it is just not a very high market for men like this. He going to be sitting around lonely and angry for a little while until he changes his perspective of women. Anyways, let me know what you think about this one. Don't forget to like, comment, share. So this true off my chest was sent to me, and this is actually kind of sad. She says, "We have a baby. Why do I hate my husband?" She says, "My husband, a 30-year-old man, and I, 27-year-old woman, have a 4-month-old baby. I pay half of everything. Us having a baby did not impact him financially in any way. I feel like I'm solo parenting. He does nothing except tucking the baby to bed after I've played with her, fed, and bathed her. I told him many times before that I hate the way I look after a C section and I desperately want to go to the gym, but he's not helping me at all in accommodating this. He claims he goes to the gym early morning so he can come home to us after work. But the reality is that he comes home, says hi to the baby, then makes himself a sandwich to then watch TV or play on his phone and watch me do everything for the baby. Not once would he ask if I need some time for myself. On his days off, he goes to the gym, takes his time, and by the time he comes back, I can't go because of the baby schedule. He doesn't understand how overwhelming it is to be the default parent and how much planning it requires for me to go anywhere. He would only spend 30 to 45 minutes with the baby, even when he's off. And when I tell him, he claims he's working full time and can't spend more time with us. I asked him many times that all I need is just 1 hour for myself a day. He says, okay, but wouldn't ever take the baby. The only way I shower now is once the baby wakes. I call my mom, and while she's talking to the baby, I take a 5 minute long wash, dog wash. Once the baby is asleep, my husband would also take a cat nap. He never once woke up at night to help with the baby, never gave her a bath, and I always have to ask him to watch her for a few minutes. He would never ask if I need help. He never helps with housework or cooking. The first few months, I survived on biscuits, even though I'm breastfeeding. I literally have to ask him if I can go to the toilet, to which he responds, "Be quick." He made mean comments about my C section, like it's not as big of an operation. And generally, I don't think he understands what it takes to raise a baby. He pulls about 10% while I do 90%. And I want to leave him. I hate him. Am I in the wrong? This stuff in the public sphere is why the birth rate needs to continue to plummet to hell. This makes me so sad and mad reading this because this is something that women keep saying. I need you to participate with this baby. I need you to do more to shoulder some of this responsibility in the home. We made this child together, but I'm doing everything. And this is not fair to women. So I hope that the birth rate continues to plummet to hell because these men do not deserve babies. Stop giving it to them. So let's get in. Okay, Relative Market says, why did he want a baby if he's not even taking care of the baby? Usually I say don't make big decisions until 1 to 1.5 years postpartum, but he doesn't give an F. It must be so much easier to take care of one baby instead of also having to fight with another child to carry their responsibility. And then to that, the OP says, exactly my thoughts. I feel incredibly hurt by the fact that he isn't even trying. And when I try to communicate with him, he never sees that he's in the wrong and would get defensive, even though I don't argue with him, just trying to explain my feelings. And then Super Island says, maybe stop explaining your feelings and just tell him your schedule for the day. Hey, when you get home from work, I'm going to the gym for an hour, or I'm meeting a friend for dinner. Be home by 6 so you can watch the baby. It's time for the baby. It's time for the baby's bath. Come help. And then Dirthney says, OP, why do you need permission to go to the gym? You're an adult. Get your gym bag ready. He comes home, unwinds. You hand him the baby and say, I'll be back in 90 minutes. There are bottles in the fridge. Then leave. And then Georgia says, same for the bathroom. And then Syphil says, that's the part that blows my mind. Be quick. Every time she needs to take a poop, he can't manage for 10 effing minutes. OP just needs to ditch this F wad. What does he even add to her life at this point? And then C Shu says nothing but problems and stress. That's what he adds. So not worth it. She'll have less stress without him. And then Sharp Incident says, before she gets pregnant again. And then Our Prestigious says, let's be real here. She can't trust him with the baby because he proactively ignores his responsibility as a parent. It would feel unsafe and irresponsible to leave her child with a neglectful person, regardless of whether or not he is her partner or not. And let's say something happens while he watches the baby. He and others will still blame her somehow or another. And with that, I'm gonna leave it at that. This is just getting tired. It's tiresome to hear this refrain of men creating these children and then opting out of any kind of responsibility or support for them in any way other than just going to work. It's annoying. I'm tired of this refrain. And child free and childless women need to see and understand how this is. It should solidify the child free women in their decision, and it should make the women who don't have children but kind of still thinking about it, it should make them take pause, take heed that this is what it could look like. Y'all let me know what you think about this one. Major trigger warning. There is SA in this video. This was in the True Off My Chest subreddit. It says, my husband had sex with me when I was sleeping. If a person does that, there's no consent. If you are asleep, there is no consent. I'm just putting that out there, but let's see what this post says. So we haven't had the best sex life for the past 2 years. We have 3 children, and my drive never recovered fully, and I suffered postpartum depression, and then my sex drive totally disappeared because of the drugs. Yesterday, I woke up to my husband sleeping with me. I panicked, but he just put his hand on my mouth. I don't know what to do. I feel sick. He said I was moaning and wet, so I must have been dreaming and was aroused. So why would I say that I have a low libido? Then this evening he started crying and apologizing like it finally hit him what he did. I went to sleep. I want to sleep in my son's room tonight, but he begs me to forgive him. Please don't try to find me. This is a throwaway because my main account is for my hobbies only. She says, update. Thank you. I wasn't sure if I was overreacting or not. I haven't been able to sleep since it happened because honestly, I'm scared he would do it again. I feel sick by some of these comments, especially those talking about their fetishes. I can't really hear this right now. I don't care how many women think it's cool to wake up to some person you love restricting your movement and then shush you and silence you without even looking at you like you are trash beneath them. I don't find it cool. I never found it cool. I have never expressed that I think it's cool. I never want this to happen again. I never want the person who did it to be near me again. I told him that I'm moving to my parents' house, and if he tried anything, then I will not care about the shame and embarrassment and expose him to everyone we know. My parents are coming to pick me up while he is at work. Thank you again for not dismissing my pain. I promise to not let this define me. What women go through really make me so mad. So many women that come to my pages, they express things like this sometimes, and the things that women have to carry and what gets brushed aside, or just like you're supposed to take it because you're married, and people acting like women belong to men. It's just infuriating. And to think that consent doesn't matter. And some people act like grape culture doesn't happen. This is infuriating. Um, well, obviously, based on this update, we can infer what some of these comments were like. I will look at some of them. You can see my name below. It's tagged. If you're on Reddit and want me to see something, you can tag me just the same. So let's look at some of these comments. Cheap Jury says, if this is something you've never talked about with him or fantasy or anything, then you were raped by your husband, and him covering your mouth doesn't make it sound any better. Kitty Blue says, by what she describes, I don't think he had consent, but it sounds as if it was rape, especially since the husband cried and begged for forgiveness. Sadly, I don't really have much to say other than couples therapy if she wants, grave charge, or divorce. This is truly awful. Edit. After getting my head out my butt, I say leave. It may highly happen again. Please, please, please be safe. I don't think couples therapy fixes this kind of thing. I think that this is over. Doing that is such a violation. Feisty Irish says he also had his hand over her mouth when she woke up. Satan Shark says, I mean, if she screamed, it would wake up the kids, and then the kids will come barging in and interrupt the grape. Imagine going through all that trouble of graping your wife and not even getting to finish. Sarcasm. Feisty Iris says, he is a sick bastard. And Sage Shark says, unequivocally, it would seem. OP needs to file a protection order against her rapist husband immediately and file for divorce. If she's in the United States, there are likely resources at county level to support domestic abuse victims through this mess. Reading this stuff out loud is challenging for me for what women go through. I don't know what to say or how to fix this. For so long, this fairy tale of getting married and having babies was pushed on us. But then we see the inner workings of what marriage and babies means to women. And this is just not right. Okay. Y'all jump in the comments. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. And if you made it this far, go ahead and just hit the subscribe button.